What's going on there, YouTube? Back in the scale garage here, back from Colorado. By now both videos are up, the Cruiser video and the Blazer video. Out riding around with Capek Scale Creations. And I know the Cruiser video was cut a little short. It started raining on us, so we didn't get to do a whole lot, and it's probably for the best because my Cruiser was poorly equipped for the real mountains, real scale terrain, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Alright, so in the Cruiser, a lot of the video I didn't use because my Cruiser was upside down. So a lot of flaws here, but it's not anything I did wrong. I built the kit like it is, and I've set it up for what I've been driving it for the past year, which is in Texas, which is flat. A few piles of rocks here and there, nothing extreme, no inclines, stuff like that. And it's worked great for my scale course at home, but it didn't work worth the flip in the mountains. And it's just too soft. It's too floppy. These king shocks are just way too soft. I was trying to keep the ride height low because of all the weight of the hardtop on it, and that in turn made the suspension way too soft, so anytime it would get on an incline, it would just flop over backwards or to its side, whichever way it was closest to. I think it was hard to compare because David's rig is leaf spring. His Cruiser is true to 1-to-1. He's got full leaf spring set. It's very stiff, but it works. It worked well on his terrain, and it's been a really good learning experience. I had this rig completely set up wrong. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to remedy this yet. I like the way it handles here on the 4-link, but I'm kind of thinking about doing the leaf springs. I don't think I might have enough leaf spring parts laying around to put together a whole set. But not sure yet what I want to do with the Cruiser. It did get some damage. There's quite a few chips and scratches and things of that nature. Now I didn't have my hardtop bolted down. I never really do because I like to take it off. So that was another problem. And the inclines and stuff, the hardtop would just flop right over. And I rolled it so many times, I lost my vent windows. They both came out. And my driver mirror snapped. Oop. So it's got some basic repairs coming, but not sure. And also another thing I encountered, due to the elevation change, these beadlocks are actually pretty airtight. They ballooned out real big. I got up there and we got out on the trail and I grabbed my truck out of the storage box and it was like the tires were like half an inch taller. They were just completely swollen up with air. So I did just have to, I couldn't take the beadlocks all apart on the trail, so I just stabbed them with the screwdriver, let the air out. I'm sure I'll regret that first time I get into some water with it, but had to do something at the time. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We played with the shocks a little bit, trying to help it, and it's going up hills. We tightened up the backs, but it worked better without the hardtop too. Less weight on the back. But it's time for some big changes on the Cruiser. I got to go through and touch up all the chips and scratches and stuff, get some more rust on it, and I got to look at completely redoing the suspension. Let's see what else. Didn't lose any emblems, luckily. Electronics and stuff worked well. I've got the Novak, the Super Rooster Crawler, something silly, in there with a 55 turn. Just didn't seem quite as energetic. I'm really hooked on the Holmes Hobby motors now. That's what I have in the Blazer and my red Hilux. Those are just so torquey, and then they have better top end speed. Just a really, really good motor. And this in the Cruiser, it's torquey, but there's not quite enough wheel speed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Didn't have quite enough get up and go when I was trying to as I get into some loose dirt on an incline, it would just kind of slowly spin. You couldn't really get on it and power through. But yeah, I'm not sure if I do decide to leaf it, then I'm going to go for the more scale look, and then we'll be looking at different tires, probably smaller tires, because it will set a lot lower. So I don't know. I could take this the other direction and turn this into a more serious crawler. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So any ideas or stuff, just hit me up on Facebook or in the comments below and let me know what y'all think I should do with it. Now moving on to the Blazer. The Blazer did well. Now David's Blazer is quite a bit more scale. He's smaller, he's got smaller tires, and he doesn't have, he's about 5 pounds lighter in the back, give or take a little. I've got this roof rack, which I don't have much on. All that stuff's pretty lightweight. But that Jalon 2 bumper I put on is pretty hefty. But it didn't cause me a whole lot of trouble. There was a few instances where the Blazer rolled, but not too bad. And I know everybody, when these Blazers came out, thought these mirrors were ridiculous. And they do still look a little big, but man, they are great. Those things, when it flopped over on its side, the mirror just folds right in. So you don't break them. They're not in the way. They just fold right in, and you flip it right back over, pull them out. That's a better idea, in my opinion, than the rubber mirrors. It's like I said on the Cruiser, I snapped one of my little mirror shafts, and yeah, then the way around that, I've got to replace it. Can't just glue it back on or anything. It snapped the actual plastic. Blazer did really well overall. The only issue I have with it are the tire foams. As you can see, they're bulging pretty bad. And like I said, this truck, I mean, I've set it up for what I drive at home, and super soft tires and light foams work great for my small course outside, which is mainly just a pile of rocks and some pits and stuff like that. So, you know, you're not at any incline. It can flex as much as it can, and a tire will give as much as it can, and you get over terrain. But all the weight of the truck, when it's on an incline, the tire starts folding under. Like you can see there, and there's several instances in the video you can see the tire folding under. And pretty much every time I flipped it, the tire was folding under. So really the only improvement I want to do for the Blazer is tire foams. And I don't even really know where to begin. I've tried some, I think it was Crawler Innovation foams a while back, but they just, I don't know, they weren't the right size for the tire, and they didn't work any better than the stock ones. So I got to do some research on tire foams, because that's something I've never really dealt with. These are the stock foams that came with the tires, and these tires were really firm out of the box. That's why I didn't think to mess with them. I put them on these wheels, and they were nice and tight and held the body up. And now after they've been run pretty hard, you can see they're just flat. I'm gonna have to leave the Blazer on jack stand so I don't get flat spotted tires. What else? Like I said, everything, the suspension on the Blazer is excellent. It's got, I think, just about as much flex as it can safely have. And I do have a lot of leaf springs on there. I've got the main leaf and 2 of the second length leaf on all 4 corners. And I am running bruiser shackles for the lift. I've got the Super lift blocks on there for more lift. And the rear, I've installed a different cross member for the shock mount, the upper shock mount, to give more lift and stiffen up the rear a little bit. And I think that worked really well. It kept me at the height to clear these big tires. And yeah, everything was good with the Blazer except the controller. So when I built this Blazer, I bought a Trailfinder 2 ready to run, and it came with this controller. So the problem I was having, the Cruiser, I didn't think nothing about it because I have my Spectrum DX3S. So I can hold the camera, I can throttle and steer. So next day we go out with the Blazers. I can't quite do that with this controller. The wheel is too far away from the trigger. So I wasn't able to drive as smoothly as I was the Blazer while I'm recording. So both kind of sacrificed. My footage was a little a little shaky, and my driving wasn't quite as skilled as I would have liked it to be. But again, I was using my GoPro for the first time or second time, and I don't have any mounts for it yet, so I was just holding it on the suction cup mount, trying to walk around and film. It came out pretty good for that. I mean, that's kind of rookie footage, but we'll get there. But the Blazer got some good wear. It got some Colorado pinstripes down the side, a little bit of dirt here and there. I haven't taken the body off yet. I need to get under there and check all my suspension and make sure everything's still tight. One of my scale front hubs was pretty loose. I did check that just now. But yeah, I think the only thing I'm going to do to the Blazer is tire foams, and I'm going to swap it over, get another receiver for my Spectrum, and run that so I have a better controller. But other than that truck really, I was really happy with it. I do think I'm going to try to make some inner fenders, because I just don't like being able to see that V8 because I don't have headers on it. And you can see right in the side of it, see the open heads on the engine, which looks kind of not scale. And honestly, that V8, that's a lot, and it's a good place for weight. I'll give it that, but there's just not enough support for it right now. There's not enough. I mean, if you could buy a set of headers, I mean, you can buy those different valve covers and air filter, but that's really the belt system. That's all they offer for it, and it's got all this potential, but it's been quite a while since it's been out, and there's just not much available for it. Oh, and another problem I have, my scale core support with my radiator, it just won't stay in. I've got it with this styrene rods, and it slides into the grill mount holes, and it looks great, but the bottom of it sits right on the servo, and when you're off-road, the body kind of moves a little bit due to the plastic body mounts, and it ends up falling out the tire well and getting run over, or getting bent between the tire and the ground and the fender. So I've got to look at a better way to mount that thing. But overall, I was really happy with how the truck drove. And I think we got some really awesome video. And this was a really good learning experience. Like I said, very different terrain. And everything I knew about crawling was wrong. Because I'm set up for the wrong kind of terrain. But yeah, it was fun. It was a blast to get together with another scale guy. There's not a whole lot of that going on down here where I'm at. And those guys up there know what they're doing. And it was a really good experience. So that's where we're at. Hopefully we'll have some more videos up soon, doing some more work on these two trucks. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for more.